Tech IVP channel. So Techies, today we are going to discuss about one of the important model for the interview question, which is Agile methodology and Scrum, which is most of the time interview ask this question. Okay, so but guys, going to before next step, please like, share, and subscribe this channel to get more amazing stuff about SDET role interview question. So let's start. So the first question is, what is Agile methodology or a Agile model? So Agile is a software development approach. Agile is a software development approach that focus on iterative incremental delivery of the software. It emphasizes flexibility, collaboration, customer feedback, and continuous improvement. Okay, means flexibility, collaboration, customer feedback, and continuous improvement. And the framework follows framework available in the Scrum, in the Agile. So not in the Scrum, in the Agile. The first framework is Scrum, Kanban, and Safe. Safe is scaled Agile framework. Scale is your task is scalable. Your project is scalable. Okay, in that case we have to use Safe. Okay, what is divided into small iterations called sprint. Okay, frequent release ensure quick adoption of the changes. But guys, going to right now we are just covering here some interview related questions, not discuss here about the depth knowledge of the agile model. Previously we have already discussed about this one, about the agile model. If you are not, if you want to take more knowledge about the agile model, please go through this video where we have discussed in the depth about the agile model, how agile model will work. Okay, what are the key aspects of the agile model. Okay, and what are different approaches we have to use in the agile model. So please go through this video. The video number is hashtag 35. Okay, also I will share the video in description box, so you can also go through this video and take more depth knowledge about agile model. Okay, but right now just we are covering here some basic interview question, which is really most important for the SDET role interview question, for the SDET role. Okay, so the next question is, what is Scrum and who is your Scrum master? Who is your Scrum master means his role, about his role. Okay, his or her role. The Scrum is agile framework. Scrum is agile framework that focus on iterative development using sprint, typically 2 to 4 week long. And guys, keep in mind, sprint is basically depends on the project level, how much your project is critical, how much your project is uh, long term. Okay, on the duration of the project. So in the some of the organization, it's a 2 to 3 week or a 4 week, depends on the organization level, or sometimes it's really for the 1 month. Okay, and also one, keep in mind one more pointer, how scrum is work. Scrum is work. Scrum, first step, Scrum sprint story, Scrum sprint story, and then task. In the previous video I was already covered all the things, what is Scrum, what is sprint story, and task, how we have to initiate with the task, and after that task how we have to initiate with the sub task as well. Okay, and then bug reporting, all the things we have I was covered in the previous video. Okay, the role here, Scrum Master. Scrum Master provides the facility in the agile process and remove blockers. If you are facing any road blocker in the development or in the test execution, that time you have to just approach your Scrum Master. He will ensure to remove all the bottlenecks, and he is a just kind of a mediator in between you and the developer. He provides the facility. Okay, roles in the Scrum. In Scrum, what are the roles, important roles? First one role is a product owner. Product owner define requirement. Second one, Scrum Master. Okay, provide facilities and Scrum practices. Okay, third one, development team, and development team consists us, and development team consists. Okay, so development team consists the people, developer, developer, developer. It might be front end, back end, UI, UX developer, and QA engineer. QA engineer. So these peoples are in the your Scrum team. Okay. The next question is, what agile ceremony do you follow? So the agile ceremony is sprint planning, daily stand-up meeting, sprint review, and sprint retrospective meeting. So sprint planning defines sprint goals and the backlog item. Daily stand-up short meeting to track the progress. Sprint review demonstration to complete what task you have completed in current sprint, and retrospective meeting discussion to improvement next sprint. Okay. And what exactly the retrospective meeting? So the retrospective meeting has three factors. First one is a what went well, what went wrong, and what can be improved. Okay, what are the loopholes in the last sprint? So in that discussion, they just take these query from the development team or the Q engineers, and provide the improvement in the next sprint. Okay. Next question. Describe Scrum ceremony. Already we have discussed sprint planning, discuss sprint backlog, define scope, daily stand up, track progress and discuss blocker, sprint review, demonstrate complete work, sprint retrospective, discuss improvement for the next sprint. Okay. When do you automate in the current sprint or the next sprint? Depends on the project requirement. Ideally, automation is done in the same sprint if time allows. If the future is complex, automation is done in the next sprint after manual testing. Okay. If automation is done in the next sprint after manual testing. Okay. Sprint velocity in the sprint. Velocity. Total story point completed divided by number of sprint. What are the total story point we have completed in the current sprint and number of sprint? Okay. It helps estimate teams to capacity of the future sprint. Also example, if team complete 40 story points in the sprint, in the sprint 1, 35 point in the sprint 2, then the average velocity is 37.2. Already calculation I was shown you in the previous video. Please go through this video so you get the depth knowledge about how velocity point is counted. Okay. But right now this is a just basic example. The next question is, in a tight sprint schedule, if a new requirement is added, how will you handle it? So in that case, assess the impact of the new requirement. Assess the impact of new requirement. Okay. Discuss with the scrum master and the product owner to capture more the requirement. To capture more requirement. Okay. Prioritize the backlog item. Then negotiate scope challenges and the changes or the shift task to the next sprint. Okay. If it's more challenging, then you can discuss with the scrum master and the product owner and shift it to the next sprint. Okay. If it's really timeline is very tight. Okay. Next question. What is backlog in Scrum? A backlog is a prioritized list of feature, task, or the bug maintained by the product owner. Product backlog, high level feature for the project. Sprint backlog, task selected for the sprint. Okay. Okay. The task we have to pick in the future, always kept in the product backlog, and for the upcoming sprint, what task we have to be taken kept in the sprint backlog. Okay. Next question. You have 30 plus sprint in your release. How will you design your test scripts and run them? So in that case, guys, as a Q engineer, keep in mind and play smartly here. Identify reusable test cases for the automation. Identify reusable test cases for the automation, which are more frequently used. Okay. Prioritize critical functionality. Execute automated regression. Use parallel execution and optimize test execution time by selecting relevant test case for each sprint. Okay. So these all about the agile model. I hope guys you get more knowledge about this about the agile model. To get more amazing stuff about SDET role interview question, please like, share and subscribe this channel to get more amazing stuff. Have a nice day. Goodbye.